thank you to the EA Creator Network for providing me with early access for the Sims 4 Horse Ranch expansion pack. Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cinderellimouse and finally I've done a build buy video. It's took me a while. I like building in the game and but it kind of comes in fits and spurts for me, so building under pressure is not the best thing. So for early access I was kind of like, oh my god, I need to build something. I built so many houses for like growing together, which I didn't have early access for, so I was kind of like just building in my own little game thinking I'll update it when the pack releases. And so for this it was like, oh my god, it's timed. I don't have this pack forever. I need to build something. Oh my god, all my build skills have left the building. But ultimately I did end up, I actually scrapped the first build that I attempted because it was just so bad. And then I've ended up with this, which I think is actually, I'm very, very, very pleased with. I think I'm going to take this build and put it in Tartosa when I get it in my own game. I'm actually really, really happy with it. I think it's going to look really pretty in Tartosa. It's kind of like a little Nectary, kind of farmy. I like it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I always like to try and do something a little bit unusual. So I didn't build in the New World. The New World is Chestnut Ridge. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I thought it'd be more interesting if I take the assets from the build buy pack itself, from the Horse Ranch pack, the build buy assets, and then try and build in a different world in the base game. So I've actually built, if I jump into game, I've actually built in where am I? Who am I? In Oasis Springs. So you know where the Calientes live in Oasis Springs? I've actually built in that area, and I think, again, trying to build in a different style to, just trying to guess what the other game changers are going to do. I was like, they're all going to build little ranches, and I want to build something different. So I was like, I'm going to build like a little kind of Spanishy kind of hacienda type farm. So I ended up actually Googling, sorry, this is a very jerky movement. I actually ended up Googling horse ranches in South America, and I think I came across one in Argentina that I thought was really, really beautiful. So if this looks like a real life building, it's because it is. At least the frontage of it. So the actual reference image that I worked off was like, sorry guys, like can she even do this? Oh, I've got something else to say in a minute. So the reference image I worked off was something like this, right? Probably about like that. So that's kind of the real life building that I kind of worked off, and I think I've kind of done quite a good job of it. It's turned out really well. So I don't know why I don't learn this, where a lot of the time I just kind of like do my own thing and think it's going to work out beautiful, and sometimes it does, but sometimes I get kind of like builder's block and everything I try looks terrible. Like whatever's going on with that there, which is clearly a different colour to the rest of the build, I need to sort that out. I don't quite know what happened with that. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm such a fucking idiot. Well, we'll deal with that in a minute. Just imagine that horrible orange colour is the same colour as the brown. Like imagine that I'm not terrible at doing stuff, and imagine that I actually have some talent and quality, because this is quality content, as I keep telling my social media managers. Like, it's been a long day. I've done a lot of recording, guys. I've lost the plot a little bit now. Here's one of my Sims. Here's Joseph Walton. So I've got a cast video on him. If you kind of want him in the game, you want to check him out, you want to know my thoughts on cast. Joseph Walton is, he looks really mean, but he's really, really not, guys. He's a really nice guy. Who's that over there? Don Gooseman is hanging around over here as well. Got this little dude who I don't know who he is. Okay, what do I want to say? Build buy. I really like the build buy in this pack. It's got some, I really like the doors as well. Like these big kind of like stable doors are so nice. What should I do? Should I just do a build tour? Maybe I'll just do a tour. Maybe I'll just do a tour of the build. Maybe I'll just press go and kind of we'll go into tab mode and I'll kind of like show you what everything looks like. So again, like, hang on, let me just get that tree back. Like this is kind of like what it looks like. I think it's going to look really, really nice in Monte Vista. Let me try and point out some stuff as we go. So this, right at the entranceway here, this big like gateway thing, that's actually, I've sized that down by 1. Now be careful if you do this, because it's actually got slots on it. You can go in and kind of like a little bit like the restaurant signs from Dine Out. You can go and customize this signage. You can actually click on it and name your ranch as well, which is a really, really cool feature. Maybe we'll do that at the end of the video. But obviously if you size it down and you try and stick objects on it, the objects are going to be floating in space because the slots stay in the original place. The slots don't size down with it, so just be aware that you might get some odd placement if you size it down. But I really preferred this size because it was more in keeping with like what I originally had there and the picture that I was working off. I've added all this beautiful kind of like flowery stuff around here as well. I just thought it just looked like a really nice entranceway. And I've remembered the mailbox, guys. Normally I forget the mailbox, but it's right there. You do get some new plants as well with this pack. So this little flower sculpture thingy with the sunflowers, that's new. And then can you see this kind of like white, this yellow flower here that's kind of waving away, and kind of like the bush and the white flowers that's attached to? That's also kind of like the very dark green colour. That's also a new little flower that you get in this pack as well. We've got this little nectar sign out front because this family, they are actually nectar sellers, so they've got a little nectar business. They kind of sell to venues, and they also kind of have people stopping by for like individual bottles. I've got this little, now this is actually I don't think this is available in like the normal build buy, but it's one of the live edit objects. So there's two cheats you can use. One is BB show hidden objects, I think it is, and the other one is BB show live edit objects. Just Google those cheats if you're not sure, or if I might not have them 100%. And then you'll get more objects that aren't available in the usual catalogue. Oh, look at this baby sheep and the baby goat jumping around back there. They're so adorable. I'm not going to have a separate video on them. I've kind of run out of time to do it, but they're very, very cute. They can actually help with gardening. They're so adorable. Like, they have benefits to having them. Once you befriend them, you can ask them to help with gardening. It's so cute. So this actual this truck, which I love the style of, I'm going to use that in Tartosa. You're going to see them all over Tartosa. I'm just going to have them like everywhere. It's one of the world edit objects, and you can just go and get that and kind of place it on the lot as a decorative sculpture. And then I've kind of got this stuff kind of on the side of the road as though it's kind of like being unpacked, you know, because they are running this little nectar business. So it's kind of like they're in the middle of kind of like packing the truck. Maybe they're going delivering, making a delivery somewhere. But you get these really cool like barrels in the game as well. I really love those as decor. I'm not sure if they work as tables or not. I've not actually tried to place anything on them yet, but just as decor, I think they look really, really nice, and they complement nectar making really well. And you get these little boxes of nectar as well. One thing I would say, I would have loved this as this as a separate object. So that one open crate on its own, I would have loved that if I would be able to like place it on kitchen counters and things, just as a separate object. So rather than the three objects all stuck together. Hello, where are you going? Are you leaving? That was the welcome wagon leaving, guys. Let me just kind of like go in and out of tab mode again. Bye, Nina Caliente. There's a variation as well on the nectar barrel. So there's also this one that looks a little bit more like a plastic barrel that's kind of been laying in the mud. And you get some kind of like bright colour variations on that. So that'd be nice to use if you were doing like university and like, you know, the barrel challenge thing, and like had those around, you know, for a bit more of a kind of like fun bar rather than a rustic bar. So again, more of the beautiful flowers. This is a new object. It's functional. It comes with the lot. It's a water barrel, so the horses can come and have a drink out of that. So that's just outside this kitchen window over here. This is one of the new cute windows. I love the windows and doors in this pack. I think they're a big pull. This here is another world object. I just kind of like got it from, it doesn't really do anything, it's just a pretty object, and I put some flowers in it. And same with these kind of planks, they're just world decor. These are the stables. Again, I'm so sorry that kind of that is like that, how embarrassing, but I'm not restarting the video. So if you have horses, which I do, I don't know where he is at the moment, you can keep a couple of horses in here as well. Again, maybe this is from like the olden days. Maybe this is kind of like a maybe this like venue has been a traditional nectar business for years and years and years. Maybe like several generations of nectar makers have lived here. So in the olden days, if you want to go and sell those big drums and barrels of nectar and you didn't have a car, oh, there he is, there's the horse. I called him Agamemnon. It was one of the horses. When I was like adopting horses, I noticed it was one of the horse names, and I thought that's really cool, because I remember, now I might have this wrong, but when I read the Odyssey, and the Iliad. I think Agamemnon was the keeper of horses, or Nestor. It might be Nestor was the keeper of horses, but Agamemnon, he was basically the king of kings, and one of the reasons why was because his area, was it Mycena, had a lot of low-lying flat land, so he had a lot of horses. And in the ancient Greek world, a lot of horses was very, very symbolic of wealth. If you were very wealthy, if you won a lot of wars, you would have a lot of horses, and Agamemnon did. So he's well known for having a lot of horses. From what I remember, again, my memory could be a bit shaky on that, but yeah, so I just thought it was a really good name, so I called him Agamemnon. I was like, that's a great horse name, I love it. This little water fountain that is available in Build Buy is new. These are just world decor items. Look at that. How nice is that door? I love that the door in that colour as well. I'm going to use this on so many like blue suburban family homes. I can just see it. We get these really nice flowers too. What else? Oh, this, oh my god, I really love, you get 4 columns in Build Buy. I'm like, oh my god, that's so many columns. So I really, really love this kind of like rustic wood texture on the columns. And is it called a spandrel, the bit that runs across the top as well? You can see it here as well, badly on the stable. It just, like, it looks so cool. Sorry, I've lost a column there because of tab mode, but yeah, I really, really like that kind of like really rustic wood and that kind of plain wooden column. I know I'm going to use it all the time. It's going to look so good for like the edges of houses as well, you know, like that get together column, how you can sometimes use it on the edges of a blue suburban. Look at little Simsy if you don't know what I mean. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be doing the same thing with that column too. Really, really cool. So the reason why all this wood is scattered around from live edit objects is because there's like a little woodworking bench over there. So yeah, your Sims can get out here and get crafty. I feel like they do a lot of like DIY projects, you know. That little hay bale is also a functional object. It's where your horses get the food, or one of the options for where your horses get the food. These little kind of like planters, they again are in world edit objects. So go into live edit objects, you'll be able to find those and kind of put whatever flowers and plants you want in there. They're not functional, they're just decorative, but I thought they were really cute. You are going to see a few actual working planters. That round one in the middle is a working planter with some plants in, because again, they're running a nectar business. Really cute little kind of like milk thing there. I think that's from like world objects as well. So these columns have this kind of like brick texture, and there is a matching new wall texture that I've used kind of on the wall and the half wall there, with that kind of really lovely old kind of rustic brickwork, which again is, I know I'm going to use all the time, especially in Tartosa. I feel like it's going to work really, really well. And oh, one of my favorite things as well, like let me just kind of zoom in a little bit here. That was really bad. You see how these shutters, these windows with the shutters are a separate item to the windows. So that window is just a window by itself. The shutters snap onto it, and you can also kind of use the Alt tab and kind of position them onto a lot of the windows in the game. So yeah, being able to add shutters to any window is so cool. So a bit like curtains, you know how you add curtains separately, a little bit like that. I just think they are so good. I would love to get more of those as well in like different shapes and sizes to fit different windows. That'd be amazing, Sims team. But yeah, I just thought that was so cool. So you get this amazing kind of like converted stable door as well, which is so hipster and beautiful. I could absolutely see if you had like city living, you could do some really cool like hipster venues, like really cool like rustic restaurants and things like that, like with those doors. So cool. What else do I want to show you as well? That's a new light. Yeah, cool. I like it. I don't have anything else to say about it. There's this new bench as well, which is really cute. This kind of like rustic wooden bench. Yeah. So super duper cool. Like, let's go into the little entranceway. I'm not 100% happy with this, by the way, just to kind of let you know, but it's kind of okay. I haven't textured the ceilings. So one of the new things that you can do with this this update and this expansion pack is to texture the ceilings, so we don't always have to look at these horrible white ceilings anymore. You can have like wood ceilings, and it's so cool. So maybe if I try and remember, again, I'm not the best at showing off Build Buy, it's not my forte, but hopefully I'll be able to kind of like show you that. So yeah, this little room, this rug's new. It's really I just keep going, it's really cute, guys. The rug's new, that coffee table's new, the flowers are new, this big massive like window is new. Again, it's going to be so good for kind of like bar venues. Look at the sheep going past. Did you see him? Oh, the goat. What else is new? This doorway again is new. I love, it's going to work really well with cottage. Hi friend, hello, what are you doing in the house? Who said you could come in here? So yeah, that's going to work really well with like cottage living and things like that as well. I think I could do with putting something on that wall, so there's some kind of like something to draw your eye at the end of that hallway, but whatever. This little side table as well, I really love the rustic style of it. I love how it's quite simple. You've got this cute little vase as well. There's so much good stuff. So this is kind of like a Native American traditional item. I think there's something about it having the two spouts that's important, but I don't know. So that's something you can look up if you're interested. I probably should have looked it up and I didn't. I really, really love these flowers. So there's 3 new vases that come in this pack. And I feel like I have actually put them together in a little bundle at the top of this hallway, so actually I'll come back and talk about those in a minute. So this new piano as well, so we had an upright piano in get together. We've got an upright piano here. That means it's base game, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see more CC pianos, but it's very, very pretty. I love kind of like this bar with the kind of like metal hinges and like the little metal things. Very, very cute. I love kind of like the traditional saloon style of that. What are you doing in here, horse? Who said you were allowed in here? It's bad enough when the goat is in here. What are you doing? Ah, horse in the house. If you don't want horses in your house, if you have even one step up, so a platform or a foundation, and it's one step up, horses can't do steps. In this game, I don't know why, but it will keep the horses out of your house. Apparently this house is very horse friendly, so I don't know how they got past this without knocking it over. Apparently it's been doing a lot of barrel racing and it really knows how to kind of like dodge those things. So. This little end table as well is also new. I really, really like that. It looks great kind of as a centerpiece in a hallway. I love it so much. What else have we got? This new lamp is new. I like lamp. This is a new staircase with a new railing. Adorable. I think I've mentioned kind of some of these new wall textures as well. There's actually an update to the base game wall textures. You're going to find some of the wooden floors and some of the wallpaper. There's going to be more colour swatches available, but I don't have an exhaustive list. Watch out for social media, probably Simguru George and the Sims team. There might be like a patch notes on it. I'm sure there'll be a list somewhere, maybe in the forums, of what's new and included. This chair, very cute, very traditional, very usable, very cute little dining chair there. Over here, this cabinet. Now, I normally overlook the cabinets. I've got a really bad habit of forgetting to look in that category tab, you know, kind of like, because it's kind of like a miscellaneous type other shelving tab. Will you get out of the way, horse? What are you doing? Will you tell your horse to get outside, please? But I really love it, and I love it in that kind of like cream colour as well. It's very, very, it's kind of understated, but really nice with those nice handles. So it's something about that one. I really, really like it. These new chairs, they come in some brighter colours. They're not all kind of like dark wood. Oh, this flooring's also new. I love that kind of like rustic wood texture. I've kind of needed a flooring specifically like this one, so I'm excited to see it. My floor's like this. My dining room and living room floor is like this, except for maybe slightly more worn. Actually, it kind of needs a going over. This is what I was talking about. So you get these 3 new vases. The one at the back is a floor plant. The other 2 can be placed on surfaces, and I can imagine the Sims team were like, should we make this a group of 3, you know, like one object that has like the 3 stuck together? And thank goodness they didn't do that. They've learned the lesson, and it's 3 separate objects. But we as the player, with our freedom of creativity, if we want to do a little grouping like that, we can absolutely go in and group those together, just like I've done here. So good to know that that's an option, but it's not being forced upon us. There's this new cute little radio. I am all about the vintage radios. I'm waiting for them to do a vintage record player looking radio. That's what I've got my heart set on. But this as well, absolutely adorable, especially if you're doing kind of like historical gameplay, you know, some kind of like historical generations gameplay. This end table's new. I love that little handle on it. The kind of rustic style of this pack is everything to me. This is a new little mirror too. coat, just in the hallway, so you know you can get your coat on, like check what your hat looks like and that kind of stuff. Let's go into this little living room next. I love that new light piece. It comes in 3 different heights with 3 different tier levels of candles. So the smallest one has 1 level of candles, the next one has 2 levels of candles, the biggest one has 3. It's a little bit oversized for my taste, it's a little bit too big, but this is quite a tall room. Again, I should have tiled the ceilings and I didn't, so it doesn't look too big for the room, and it does kind of look, maybe it's like industrial or something like that. I kind of love it. So these chairs, they do come in like plain brown swatches, but I kind of like these really jazzy cushions, so at the last minute I kind of changed it to this more jazzy style, and then kind of some of the more brightly painted furniture, because the whole house was looking a bit too dark, so I kind of went in and kind of used some of the brighter colours. That's just the base game coffee table with the new planter on it. That's a base game plant back there. These new windows, the tall version, very, very pretty. Again, it'd be nice to get the shutters with the different heights, but I reckon you could probably have 2 shutters over the top of each other and kind of like have like make a long shutter. I didn't try that, I'm just assuming. We've got this new like wooden wall art that's really cool. This new kind of TV stand, which I really like, because a lot of the TV stands that we have in the game are like base game or very early game, and they're a little bit ugly now. They're a little bit kind of like blocky and ugly. This one's really nice, and it's in keeping with kind of the more current aesthetic that we have for The Sims 4 that has kind of improved over time. What else over here? This really very, very useful and cute little what they call wood burner with the flume as well. Like, I really love that. My dad has one of those. I kind of love it, with a little kettle on top as well. So again, just a traditional kind of object, but also really, really useful. You can see how she's warmed herself up here. Really useful in kind of like smaller homes as well, rather than those big massive fireplaces. Talking about big massive fireplaces, there is a big massive fireplace, and it's kind of like a brick one, and I really, really like it. It was just too big for the room, and I've not actually used it in this build. I feel like you could also use the outside. It would work really well outside on like a patio area too. These are just the base game curtains covering this doorway to kind of make this room feel a little bit more peaceful. A little bit more secluded, you know, from kind of whatever else is going on. Let's go this way next. So if we go this way, we have a little study area. You can have a study buddy. So there's 2 desks in here, just because it basically was a kind of a blank space room. You could also turn it into a dining room, because there's no separate indoor dining room beyond the kitchen and the outside patio area. So if you want to change this around and turn it into a dining area, you could do, and change one of the rooms upstairs into an office, absolutely could do that. But I kind of liked it as almost like the room that they run the business from. I kind of stole that idea from one of the creators who built one of the pre-made lots for this pack. They had like the little business, like this study area outside with the nectar making stuff. So that's the kind of general idea. They run the business out of this area, you know, online selling and kind of embracing that kind of side of things. And there's also this new picture, and there's some really nice paintings that you can choose from on that as well. This is another new chair. It has a cow print, which I have feelings about, and I'm not quite sure if they're positive or negative feelings quite yet. I've not decided. I find that chair a little bit blocky looking, which I don't love, so I think it's the blockiness that puts me off more than anything else. Oh, also, I assume this is another Native American craft being symbolized in the game, with this kind of like basket weaving, which is a nice little object there, a nice little art piece. This is one of the bathrooms. It's a little downstairs bathroom. Really like this shower, this kind of rustic inbuilt shower. We've got some new counters, which I'll show you more of when we go into the kitchen. There's a new curtain as well that you can see over this window here. This window is also very cute and useful. It's just like a little 1x1 tile. I feel like that could actually look really good kind of like over a kitchen counter, but be under the cabinets. I think that would be you know, so you can kind of like look out the window as you're kind of using the counter. A new sink here as well. Again, just a cute little rustic sink. I feel like we've got a couple of things that are similar to this already in game, so I wasn't super excited about that specific item, but it's not a bad item either. I do feel like, why don't the Sims team give us more toilets? It's like every single pack, it's like, have a new sink, and then new toilets are really few and far between, and a lot of them are, again, base game and blocky looking. I kind of need some more toilets that are suitable to older houses, you know, that aren't like a modern system, but look better than a base game toilet. So Sims team, if you could make a note of toilets and start adding toilets in packs, that'd be great. Especially, do you remember the vampires one with the high system flush, with the pull flush? I really would love kind of like a less fancy version of that. Excuse me, she's using the bathroom, let's leave. But let's look at this picture first. So this is one of those brilliant swatches where it's like it looks like one thing, and when you kind of cycle through, you get all these different advertisements and decals. It's just yeah, always worth having a look at the decals in game, because there's a lot of variety of them. So again, I'll try and remember to show you that. Stop using the bathroom sink to wash dishes. What is wrong with you? Go this way. So this is the little kitchen area. This is one of the new floor tiles that we get in this pack. It's kind of like a wooden shingle floor, I think, or a brick tile floor. Again, really nice and useful. I feel like I'm going to be using this a lot, especially in like bathrooms and outdoor spaces. These are some new chairs that we get in this pack. Very nice. So we get new kitchen counters and new kitchen cabinets, which you can see up here, but we don't get a new fridge or a new oven in this pack. What we do get is some really interesting kitchen clutter. So this shelf is just base game, by the way, if you're kind of wondering where that's from, but it's the cabinets and the counters that are new. These plates, so this is how this comes as an item, and it's under something really weird as well. It's under like shelving or surfaces. I don't think it's under decor. So if you look under shelving, you'll find these plates, and they've actually got a slot on, and you can stack them on top of each other. I don't know when it stops. I got them like 3 or 4 high, and I was like, that's really cool. And they come in a range of different colors, so you can have these like stackable plates, and they have a really small footprint, so they do fit on these little tiny shelves. So really like those. I'd love to see more of that kind of thing. That kind of kitchen clutter is just very good. I do remember reviewing Deligracy's and Little Deca's kitchen stuff. Was it Delicious Kitchen, the CC stuff pack, and they had a lot of things like this that I really was very impressed by. I really loved that kind of clutter. Another thing that they had, which they did in that, I guess it's just a general CC thing. I know it as, because I don't use a huge amount of CC in my game, but I really loved that pack. Like they also have these like kitchen pans, like pots and pans like this, that are just kind of like loose single pans, and it's something I've got in my game, and I'm always trying not to use it because I'm like, I can't upload it to the gallery if it's got CC in it, so I try to avoid using them until I'm like playing it in my own game. But yeah, it's like really nice kitchen clutter, and they actually, in the Deligracy and Little Deca's stuff pack, they actually slot on to, I think if I remember correctly, the back tiles of the oven. Like the oven has slots, and because they're not actually used, they don't have any VFX, the Sims actually cook on the front tiles, so the back tiles could potentially have a deco slot. So I thought that was really cool, and I like that. I don't know if they took inspiration of, or if this is like an independent thing, but I like that kind of kitchen clutter, and I'd love more of that in the game. We've also got this kind of like little salt pot, whatever's going on here with this. Again, I would really have liked something like that little salt pot as a separate item, just a little tiny separate item. Things like that I find so useful for clutter. Yeah, and a new version of the kitchen curtains as well. Yeah, and I do kind of like this. Oh, so there you go. So that's what I was talking about. Those kind of that little 1x1 tile fitting over a counter and under the cabinets, I think works really well. I was actually thinking like bring it right down to counter level and kind of put it like there. It's just like a perfect size. I could do it like a modern version as well, like a modern 1x1 window. This as well is, this is like a little stool. Your Sims can actually come and sit on this. You may have also seen there's one outside in the garden out there. This little side table, again, is so hipster and adorable. I would absolutely want that if I saw that in kind of like a little vintage shop. This is a little condiment thing. So cute. That'll be good for like restaurants. At my work, we kind of like have a little kind of tray with knives and forks and napkins all wrapped up like that already. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with that. So let's just go out here a second. So you can see how that's the main entrance that we went into. We've also got this entrance which kind of leads to the kitchen. Let me go in and out of tab mode again very quickly. So if I go next to, if we go through here and out here, you can have a bit of a sneak peek of the garden out there, and we'll go and have a look at that kind of in a little bit of time. I feel like there was a poo out there. Did I just show you a poo? I feel like I need something on this wall. It's too bare. This little door is really cute. I feel like this is something to do with stables that I don't understand. So I feel like I've probably used it for the wrong purpose. I feel like it's something, maybe it's like to stop horses getting through but humans can get through, something about the width of it, I don't know, but I think it's like this cool sliding hipster door. I'd love to use things like this in city living apartments. I think that'd be really awesome for like a hipster loft apartment. We've got a little ladder here going down to the nectar cellar, but first I'll show you, this is kind of like this is kind of a business room. So you've got the stables over there, so you can kind of keep an eye on the horses while you're doing this, but the idea of this room is that it's sorry, I can see that column poking up there, it's kind of bothering me, but also it kind of looks like the bottom of the wall, so maybe it doesn't bother me, maybe I did it on purpose as a design feature, not a flaw. So the idea of this is like if they're looking to have people come over and buy their nectars, they can bring them into this room and have like a little bit of, it's like a little home bar, so people can come and sample the nectars, and they can have a little bit of a chat about the business and hopefully make a few sales that way. That's kind of like what this whole room is about. These nectar storage racks are so cool because they stack on top of each other and they slot together really nicely. And I realized that with move objects on, so they don't attach to the wall like this, you have to like put them on top of another nectar rack. But if you have move objects on, you can actually stack them to this height and then move the other ones from underneath and move this over, and it'll stay at that height. And that's how I kind of created this really cool kind of framed nectar rack, which I think is going to be really useful for like bars, especially like bars in restaurants and things like that. Like I could totally see me doing this in Tartosa, but I think I was being quite clever. So while it doesn't actually slot onto a counter, they did make it counter height and stackable. So with a little bit clever use of move objects on, you can very, very easily create that effect if that's what you're interested in doing. Here's another one of those decals that I was talking about. Like if you cycle through, you get some really interesting kind of like vintage posters. I love that. That's one of those things that I just can't get enough of in the game. There's this really useful decor for like a brush and a mop and kind of cleaning equipment, which I just feel like is a very nice clutter item that I can see myself using a lot. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why it's the wrong colour. I definitely derped. Oh, there's this new light though, which again comes in all three ceiling lengths. So you get a short version, a medium version and a long version. I find it too big. I've actually sized it down by 2 using the brackets keys to make it this smaller size, which I find a lot more usable. So just to make you aware that that's an option, because I don't know why they've made it so large. I don't know why they didn't make it like one size up and I could size it down to this. Impractically big. You get this, like, I love how the little horse hat, so one of the horse accessories is that little tiny cowboy hat. I kind of love that the little horse hat is there. That's kind of a nice little detail. That water flask is really cute as well. So this is just like a little kind of storage shelf. This is somewhere where you can keep your saddle, but I feel like I can imagine kind of people putting the toddler on it and pretending it's a horse and kind of pushing it around. It's a shame it's not on wheels. Oh, the horse has took itself to bed. Okay, it must be getting late. There's some rosettes, which I think are actually base game. When you win awards, I believe, I may have this wrong because I wasn't able to actually, hello daddy, I see you out there, Vanda. Hi, hey sweetie. One of my Sims, I'm in love. So this is why you should download all my Sims guys from my gallery and put them in your game. Even if you just put them in the household bin, they'll wander around and they're nice to look at, what can I say? But yeah, I believe when you win competitions, I think you get a plaque, because I saw it in one of the trailers, kind of the horse ranch woman is stood in front of all these plaques. I don't think you get rosettes. Rosettes is a very British thing, and but it's good that we have them in the base game. At least we can like pretend we've won. This is really cool as well. So do you remember when we got Dream Home Decorator? They had all that modular furniture, and one of the things that they had was like a walk-in wardrobe feature where they had railings separately to the clothes that hang, and you can actually use it as a wardrobe. So I think you can probably use the clothes as a wardrobe, but those clothes are separate to this like whole unit, and you can just go in and slot them on the rack, which I think is so cool. And I love that they're continuing to give us different variety of that. So, you know, over time we can actually have like a whole clothing store if we just kind of like use all the different options that they've given us to kind of like mix and match. So I love that. I would love if the Sims team continued to give us those, because I think that's really cool. You can also take those out and just use this kind of like as a different kind of storage. It doesn't have to be clothing storage. Let's go down to the nectar basement. So if we go down this ladder, alley up, oh, going down slowly. Keep going down. What are you doing? Go down. Oh, I think it's tab mode. I don't think we can go into tab mode into basements. So here you go. So you've got this little nectar cellar. Nectar actually ages better if you store it in a basement. So while there's nectar storage upstairs, that's for the stuff that you want to sell. For the stuff that you're aging, use these nectar barrels. One of the cool things about this is you can name it. So you can go ahead and name this and call it like apple nectar, so you know, you can kind of like customize the storage to whatever you want to kind of put in there. These barrels are really cool. It's got a little sink down here just so you can like wash off if you've been making nectar. The reason why there's hay down here, it's not kind of fallen down, it's on purpose. I used to live in a pub for years and years and years, and sometimes when they're dropping the barrels down into the basement, they will use either kind of like almost like pillowcases full of hay or just loose hay, and it stops the barrel kind of getting damaged when it lands on the basement floor. It's just kind of like a pillow or a cushion. So that's something that's like a real thing that happens if you kind of working in a drinks basement. Yeah, that's kind of what that's there for, and also to provide like cushioning as you're kind of rolling the barrel around and moving it around and things like that. So yeah, there's your nectar maker. There's that cool signage again, and I tend to use my favorite stuff a lot of times rather than having a lot of variety. Just kind of, if you've seen that one thing again and again and again. Oh, this cool little like keg as well, really cute. It's not functional, but it's a really cute little decor thing. This is another one of those decor things. The decals, if you just kind of scroll through, you'll find that. And then because you can put nectar on shelves, I've kind of got this whole shelving system going on here, just if you want to store it that way too. So let's have a look outside then. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of like put the walls up and the roof back on and all that good stuff. So this is around the back. You've got this little area here where I've already gone ahead and planted a load of grapevines. I've also planted some carrots. That's for the horses. She likes video gaming. No, I don't think that's your whole vibe, to be honest. I've continued with these little cute little flower arrangements kind of around everywhere, and kind of tucked in as well. You're also going to find some of the wild grass. So here you go, this is actually prairie grass. So hopefully Sims will be able to harvest this and use it without kind of, not you Don, not too much trouble. I've not completely root tested this entire house, so just kind of watch out for that. Hold on, I think my kid's back and wants to say hi, so just give me a second. Oh, kids home from school, that's how long I've been filming for. So right, let's keep going. So yeah, this big massive football, this is like a horse toy, but yeah, they should be able to just kind of come around and harvest this grass that I've kind of spotted around everywhere. So there's one there that looks like the horse has already had a go at, and this one back here as well. So hopefully the horse can just kind of like feed itself a little bit if you're kind of getting a bit distracted with nectar making. You don't have to have a horse either, by the way, just giving you all the options with this house. So she's decided to do it from up there, which, do you know what, fine, you do you, at least you can reach it. This is like the little outside dining area, especially if you're going to be putting it in kind of like a nice warm world. You're probably going to be wanting to do a lot of outside dining. Again, you've got this little cute bench. I've put an easel out here, but you could change that to a telescope. I was like a stargazer, a telescope if you wanted to as well. You can see these windows as well from the outside, really, really lovely. Again, really love the windows in this pack. That's not even all of them either. You also get this like barbecue variation as well, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a camping stove effort, I feel, but yeah, really like that. Is it? Oh, it's portable as well, perfect. And then like a little outdoor kitchen just for cleaning up and storage, pretend storage. And sorry, I've been eating those McCoy's crisps. Sponsor me, McCoy's, please. And I need to drink some more Asda water, Asda mineral water. I don't know why I'm trying to get sponsorships all of a sudden. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with that. So let me just show you a couple of the other features that I've mentioned that I kind of wanted to come back to. Because that's kind of, oh, I've not done the whole house tour. We'll continue with the whole house tour soon. So like this is the one I need, this rustic spandrel. There we go. I've changed the colour of that because it's stupid. what else did I kind of want to show you? I think I wanted to show you some more of the swatches of this. So if you just go in there and grab that. And then I did say that this wall needed a little something. So you can come in here and kind of see some of the options of this. Again, really, really cute. Some really good stuff. Great for signage. You know, if you're building shops and stuff, like maybe like some kind of like cute little farm shop, you know, that could be the literal signage on the outside of the building. So this kind of stuff is always super useful to me. I love stuff like that as well. It just looks like so vintage, like equestrian type stuff. Again, like I don't know, like the flower making hay seller shop. I don't know, like I don't know, traffic sign. I don't really get that one. I love these ones. These are the ones that I always like, really like. These kind of vintage signs. Some vintage posters as well. They could do with looking a little bit more worn around the edges, I personally feel, but fine. Which one do I want to put here? I kind of like that one. I'm gonna go with that one. I think as well, what else I wanted to show you was tileable ceilings. So I've not shown you upstairs yet. I'm so bad at this. So you can go ahead and basically, if you look here, so this used to be like floor by tile, room by tile. You've now got ceiling by tile or ceilings by room. So you can pick basically any floor tile. If you wanted like grass on your ceiling, you just go in, you click ceilings by room, go like that. It looks like it's the upper floor, but it's not. So as soon as I go back into thingy, you can see that it's done the ceiling, not the floor. It's just kind of showing you under the floor. And then if I go and tilt up, I've got grass on my ceiling, guys. Like Alice in Wonderland Who, it's all gone a bit strange. Like you can literally, any floor tile you can stick on your roof. I don't know why you'd want to put like grass on your roof, but it's an option if you wanted it. So let's go ahead and get this kind of like rustic floor tile. And we'll just go with maybe like a lighter colour, maybe this kind of like cream colour. And we'll kind of tile the ceiling with that. I feel like I want it long ways though. Oh, hang on. There we go. So using the greater than and lesser than keys, you can change the angle of that, but you need to do it kind of in single tile mode, not full room mode apparently. Alright, I guess apparently I'm just, wait, hang on. What if I single tile, turn it round, shift? That's how we do it. That's the way we do it. So there you go. I can just go in and kind of like tile all these ceilings like this. So that's going to tile the ceilings of all the lower floor. And then if I go up, I can also do the ceilings over here as well. So when we go upstairs and look up, we're going to see beautiful tiled ceilings. I love it. I love it so much. Just another little feature while we're outside the house here is this little chimney. So you do get a couple of different like roof sculptures. I didn't feel like that quite suited the vibe, so I didn't use it, but I could definitely see me using that a lot, kind of with the more rustic builds. And then this little thing as well, which again, I didn't feel like quite suited the vibe, but I do appreciate the piece. And then this really nice chimney, which again matches that brick. Can you see the lower floor? Hang on, let me pull across. Where can I go? Where can I go where you'll see it better? Let's go out the back. Out the back. So yeah, can you see how the chimney matches perfectly that new wall tile? Really love that kind of rustic stonework. Appreciate that a lot. Could do with more floor tiles, you know, like the Selva Dorada kind of like natural kind of terracotta floor tiles and natural slate floor tiles. Just really plain basic floor tiles, please, Sims team. I appreciate you. I love your faces. Oh, this is also a new roof. I think it's this one is the new roof. This kind of like a bit more like wooden shingles. Like look at the rise on that as well. Like look at the texture of that. That's really, really cool. And this is just the normal base game roof. But yeah, that's a new roof variation that I think is pretty fabulous. Oh, how I did this as well. So, okay, I haven't talked about guys. One of the world decor items is actually this like vine. Like, let me show you this vine here. So you can see if you go to one of the empty houses in Chestnut Ridge, it's got that beautiful kind of vineyard outside, that grape yard outside. So, and this is what they've used. So I've gone and got the world decor, and then I've just used the move edit objects on, and the 0 and 9 keys to kind of raise and lower it, and I've kind of raised it up and put it, because it's like on a cross, I've put the cross kind of almost inside those two beams, and doesn't that look gorgeous to create this kind of like hanging garden effect? And this kind of thing here is another kind of world item, and again I just went in and I raised it up to make it kind of like in a position that I thought it looked good, and then I went to the top, and because it's kind of got floor tiles there, you can go ahead with move objects on and just kind of place any kind of like flower, shrub, ground coverage to create this beautiful trellis effect. I've done that quite a few times in the game, but I really like these kind of like vines and how easy it is to kind of like put them there and how good they look. So just a little top tip there. I'm quite pleased with myself, pat myself on the back for discovering something that I quite like. Right, another thing as well is we now have tab mode in build mode. So if you don't have Sims on the lot, this is something we couldn't do before, and trust me, if you don't understand this, it makes a huge difference. It's one of those little things that you think, oh thank goodness they added this. So we've always been in live mode, we've always been able to kind of like go into tab and kind of move the camera around like this, and we've not been able to do it in build mode. So you've got to have Sims on the lot to be able to show the lot off. So for builders it's a pain, because say all you want to do is build in the game and you don't really care about having Sims living in the lot, you've kind of got to make some Sims, move them in. So for builders this is kind of really good, because you can just build the lot and show it off without having to kind of like faff around with the whole Sims thing in a game called The Sims. Who would want to do that? Let me go back to the tab mode and we'll kind of keep zooming around, because I haven't even shown you upstairs. I almost didn't. I almost forgot to show you upstairs. So if we go up here, let me see if I can do it like in a sensible way, like we're climbing the stairs. No, up. I'm crawling up the stairs. I've had too much nectar. I'm crawling up the stairs. So we've got this kind of like landing space here, which I've turned into kind of like a little bit of a toy area. So I don't know if this is usable. I actually need to play test this because I had to place it with move objects. Oh yeah, ceilings. Yay, ceilings. Tileable ceilings. Again, I'm not showing how excited I actually am for that, but I'm very excited about that. Tab mode and built tileable ceilings. It's like, hallelujah, praise the gurus. So yeah, so you get this like farmhouse toy thingy. It looks like it's made out of fabric. It looks like it's made out of felt, which is an interesting choice. There it is. So apparently that door is accessible. This does not block the routing, which is nice to know. Again, you can like combine those little flowers to create that kind of little effect. I guess like let's talk about this doorway. Again, if you're building loft apartments, like industrial loft apartments, this is a beautiful doorway. It's just an archway, it doesn't open and close, but it's so hipster and so cool on that big rail. Like again, like absolute favorite item, one of my favorite items in this pack. There's so many good things. I keep saying that about so many different things. I really like this little flowery kind of chair cover as well. Very cute. Like look outside, see how well it fits in. Like look, it's like Oasis Springs was made for horses. I like this as an option because while Chestnut Ridge is kind of like Wiki Wild Wild West, Jim West, Desperado, you know, that kind of like old Wild West, this feels a bit more like kind of like Mexico or like Spain, where you know you'd also have that kind of like similar vibe, and then you can like use the nectar here as well. I feel like it fits the vibe so well. So again, I really want to show how you can use the features in another world, not just the world that came in the pack. Again, like really love that car. I can't wait. It's just it just gives a certain vibe. It gives a certain aesthetic. It feels very European. I kind of can't wait to put that in Tartosa. So yeah, this little guest bedroom or single bedroom is really cute. I feel like I've used that to be like one of the ancestors, you know, a portrait of one of the ancestors. There's quite a few new beds in the game. This is one of them. I like it. New window as well, really gorgeous window. This new wardrobe as well, I absolutely lost my mind when I saw this. I don't know what it is about it. It's like single tiles, so it's nice. It's not too cumbersome. It doesn't get in the way too much. It's easy to use. It's so vintage and realistic and quaint and sweet looking. I really did lose my mind. I don't know if you can use it as a mirror. Maybe we'll have to try and remember to test that, but it'd be cool if you could. But yeah, a little very cute little vintage dresser. Really like that. I don't know what it is about it. I'm just like, I love that. Let's keep going. So little teeny tiny bathroom here with the new mirror and the new sink. Again, just like cute little bathroom. Not much to say about that. Oh, this new bench as well. This is new. Again, very cute as a little kind of like indoor outdoor bench. We've got this little room here, which is kind of like the master bedroom. I've kind of gone for some of the lighter colours, again, just to show that you don't have to use all those dark woods all the time. There are lighter options. I really like this kind of like minty coloured bedspread as well. I thought that it was cool to use like the footstool at the end of the bed, as though that's where you sit when you're putting your shoes on. I have a footstool actually at the end of my bed. I use it for so many different things. Sometimes I put like, you know, when you've worn clothes but they're not smelly enough to go in the wash, you don't want to kind of like damage the environment by overwashing something that doesn't need washing, but it's a little bit too kind of like worn. Maybe it's got perfume on it, so you don't want to like put it back in your wardrobe. But you say you have like the dirty but not that dirty clothes chair, like that would be it for me. This rug is really nice. I don't like all the colour options. Some of them are a bit too childish for me, a bit too bright and childish, but I found this kind of like brown neutral one really usable. Again, cute little bedside tables and things like that. I do feel like this is very wood on wood. I don't know if I'd keep it like this or maybe like carpet it or something, but for now that's kind of the vibe I went with. That's a base game mirror. This is another new wardrobe, so not just the little single wardrobe, you also get this double wardrobe and that kind of like open hanging wardrobe that I showed you downstairs. So a lot of wardrobe game in this game. I like the hinges. Another little chair, it kind of matches the bedspread, so I like that. That's that little side table again. Here's another variation on that kind of like new artwork, which again, very awesome and cool and lovely. We love it. You can tell I'm getting a bit bored of doing this video now. I've just been recording for such a long time. My face is probably so sweaty and blotchy at this point. Oh, she's asleep in here. So the idea of this is it's like a little nursery room. Say you had like a nanny or something, or a butler, or just an older sibling, or maybe you're a new parent and you want to let your partner get some sleep in the main bedroom. So you're just going to sleep in here with the infant. So if the infant wakes up, you're kind of like there to respond right away. So it's kind of like infant and carer room. You could also turn that into like a toddler bed and just have it as like a toddler and child room. Yeah, just a really cute little room. I like this kind of little cabinet of curiosities here, which I put in the corner. This is a new rocking chair. We appreciate her. This I think is one of the new rugs. I'm not 100% sure because we did get a rug patched into the base game and I keep thinking that's part of the pack and it's not. That bookshelf just goes really nicely there. That's all I have to say about that. It's not new, it's just there. It's like, it's just Ken. I like these, I hate that as well, it's just Ken. I'm like, don't belittle Ken like that. Like, listen, I'm sure he has some good qualities, Barbie. Stop being a bitch to him. I've not even watched the movie yet. I might watch the movie and be like, oh my god, Ken is such a... I don't know. Okay, stop talking about the Barbie movie. Concentrate on this. That's new. Okay, I'm done. That's my review of Build Buy, and it's good and I like it, and there's my horse. There's my horse, of course. Oh, I was going to show you this sign as well. That's the other thing that I was going to do. So you can go ahead on here and click on it and you can name your ranch, which I think is really cool. Very Verde Vineyards. Verde means green, I think, unless it means red. It means one of those and I like it. So that is what we're going to be called. And then, like I say, I'm just going to jump into Build Buy. I'm going to actually, just going to clone it to kind of show you this feature. So this is the size that it should be. I found it a little bit too large, so I just sized it down for the aesthetic. But if you're here for the gameplay... you can actually go ahead and kind of, let me just filter for the pack so I can find things a bit more easily. So you can jump in here. I think it's like these wall decorations, and you can grab things like this longhorn cow plant skull replica, and it actually slots onto all these different slots on this signpost. So I really like the customization of this. I think it's really cool that they've added that. You can go ahead and like add these like spurs and things on there as well if you want to kind of like, you know, show that this is where the sheriff lives, you know, sheriff approved. It's a 5-star, 4-star establishment, 5 stars, 6 stars, 7-star establishment. It's all the stars. You know, you can do that as well. So you get all these little like cows and sheep and things like that, depending on what you're doing with the farm. Some can be unlocked apparently with like the jumping skills, so you can use those, like the horse riding skills and winning competitions, I guess. So I guess you can use that to kind of like show, I don't know. That's there. You can read for yourselves. Don't expect me to read for you. That's not what I'm here for. I do appreciate getting early access. I just can't change my entire personality and be an organised person who shows up off a pack efficiently. But I think the reason why they're giving people like me early access is so that you can get like a range of different views. You know, and I can only be good at what I'm good at. I'm good at building, I'm not good at explaining. So I'm average at building, I'm good at cast, I'm bad at explaining. That's who I am. I like storytelling, I like Sims. I like reacting to stuff, so subscribe for more random content. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with this. Let's just have a look at all the items if we just go to show all. So like I say, it keeps on, it's always tagged as new, which is actually quite helpful because it's easier to find the items, but I hope that doesn't happen when I get it into my main save. I hope that's like a playtest thing. So yeah, you get like a ton of different beds. This one's a little bit more modern, but like kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a shoebox bed. I don't know, I kind of like it. This one, which would be really cute in like a little B&B, I feel. I don't know, it gives B&B vibes. That one that you've seen, that one, a new cabin bed as well, which of course you can like slot that one in and have a bunk bed. This is like the horse hay thing. There's a new poohoo bush, which I appreciate. I always appreciate new poohoo bush options. And more than anything, I think it's a really useful item to have in the open world, especially when there's like any wilderness involved. So you actually find some of these in, if you go to the mountain area, something gulch it's called, Gallopers Gulch, something like that. There is a poohoo bush there, which is just useful. There's these sleeping bags, so really cool to get new sleeping bags. They're not kind of specifically attached to get together. So if you don't want get together but you do want sleeping bags, Horse Ranch is an option. That also means that CC creators will be able to make base game sleeping bags, because it means it's base game functionality if you get it in multiple packs like the piano, so good to know. What have we got here? And also very generous of the Sims team to not gatekeep stuff behind specific packs, because they know that they don't want you to have to like, I don't know, I assume the Sims team is like, we are going to add sleeping bags to the game. Should we add them to Get Together or should we add them to Horse Ranch? I don't know, they suit both packs, but I don't want people to have to buy 2 expansion packs if they want to kind of like sleep under the stars or invite friends over. So what we'll do is we'll add that functionality to the base game, knowing that people will be able to make sleeping bags without buying either of the expansion packs, because we want to have that in both packs and not kind of rip people off or expect them to buy 2 packs. So people are always talking about EA being a rip-off and like all these kind of exploitative tactics like DLC and stuff like that. I don't think all the time. I think give the gurus some credit, they are actually quite decent people. You know, otherwise they wouldn't have done that. They would have keep that behind one specific expansion pack and been like, well, if you want that feature, buy that pack. And they didn't do that. So I'm saying give them a little bit of credit here, where credit's due. And listen, when I want to complain about something, I will complain about something. I don't like the early purchase order content. I disagree with that. So I will make my feelings known, and I have. This little stool here in previous videos is where, just in case you were wondering, this, like, I really love this. Like, this is so nice. My only complaint is I would have liked a 2-seater. I don't know why. This is where I feel ripped off, when I get a 1-seat, like a 1-seat and a 3-seat, and I'm like, where's my 2-piece? Like, I want like the whole set, please. Don't give me this and give me this and expect me to be happy with this. Like, I actually do like that. Like, why? Like, right, look, right here. So it's not a case of, well, we can only add so many items in a pack. Like, no, look, you've given me the 1-seater, 3-seater. Like, if you thought I didn't complain, guys, they've given me the 1-seater. They've given me the 2-seater. No, they've given me the 1-seater. They've given me the 3-seater. And they've given me 3 2-seaters. 3 2-seaters. You're telling me one of them couldn't have been one of them? Like, I would have gladly sacrificed, like, I don't know, any of them. I like close my eyes, wriggle it around. I would sacrifice that one. I actually do like that, but there is something similar in, and I would have like had a 2-seater. Not happy. I don't know why it's so dark. don't want to make it liar. I don't know. This chair is nice. What's this? A I thought it said burlesque spindleback dining chair. Bunkhouse spindleback dining chair. Even if you feel tired, it'll be really hard to break this dining chair. I need to read all the object descriptions. If one of them is like, Cinderella, you complain too much, shut the F up, else you're not getting early access ever again, I'm going to complain even more. This chair, which is a design choice, I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of very, do you remember like the Beano and the Dandy? And there was that guy that always had the like steak pie. It's very steak pie guy. This chair, which is an average chair, I feel like I've already got stuff like this in the game. This footstool, which I love, again, I've used it out here. It's like a cobbler's stool. I really like that. I'm going to use that just everywhere. It's cute as well in the kitchen. I almost did this, but I didn't want it to like block any routing. But I like the idea of it kind of being like in front of something, as though it's like the stool that the kid uses when the kid's like the toddler or the child, it's like they step on that stool to be able to like reach the counter properly. I thought that was cute storytelling, but I didn't want to kind of like do it in case it blocked anything. What's this? It's a cute ottoman that I didn't even realise was in the game. I missed it until this moment. Counters, nice. Love them. Do you know what, actually, maybe you want to see the colour swatches on this. I do feel like they're a little bit samey. And very dark as well. I could have done with a few that were kind of like, I don't know, I could have done with a few that were slightly lighter. I feel like they're a little bit samey. The swatches could be better on that item, but I do actually love the fact that we've got a new wooden countertop, because we didn't have wood countertops for such a long time. And then me and Brazen Lotus both looked at that Parenthood kitchen and were like, that needs a wooden countertop, completely separately and independently. We're both like, I'm going to mod that and give it a wooden countertop, and we both did, and Brazen Lotus did it better than me. Yeah, I'm really happy to finally be getting more wooden textures to the countertops in the game. I like wooden countertops, so yeah, great, happy with that. I'm just a little bit sad that the swatches went slightly lighter, slightly more usable. I feel like they're very, very dark, which again, a couple of dark ones is fine, but there's a lot of dark ones. So right, excuse me, whilst I've got this table that I didn't use because I forgot to add a dining table to the indoors. But like I say, if you want to kind of like make this the little dining room, you totally could do, and move the office upstairs, or just have like the office area out here. Could totally do that. Plenty of space. Another 6-seater dining table, one of these round ones, which again, very, very useful. I think I used that out the back. This side table, which I really like, is there. This table, which I really like, is there. Oh, what else do we have? This little end table, very cute. I feel like it's like the base game end tables, but nicer. If EA ever want a quote for me for anything, it's like the base game, but nicer. That's my quote. Another cute dining table, coffee table. Again, nothing special, but not bad either. This, which I really like, this kind of TV stand. Very, very, very much appreciate that one. A new little rustic desk, which I actually do like, and I probably will use quite a lot. Again, going to complement cottage living really well, I feel. A more vintage kind of antique desk, which I really like some of the colours. Like that colour swatch is really lovely. I quite like these kind of like painted ones as well. I really like the details of that as well. The kind of like pull out drawers, and kind of some of those kind of metal details. Very, very, very nice. Feels like the sort of desk you'd find in like a very old library. This, which again, absolutely love. It's like a little butcher's block table or something. I don't know what you call it. Again, this kind of thing with God, there's too many items to show you. I've shown you most of them, guys. I don't have to show you everything, guys. Somebody's going to do it more efficiently than me anyway, so I don't know why I'm even trying. Sage candle tray efforts, nice light, public outhouse. I'm just looking at stuff that I've not shown you yet. This thing, cute. The plates, let me show you how these plates stack. So I mentioned these, like they're so cool. Like, look, let me put them up here. So like this, and then like, let me change the color. Can you see, guys? Can you see? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Like, how good are these? And they just go on and on and on. And Gaviscon, love them. but they don't fit. I don't know why they don't fit on these shelves. So I don't know what is going. Oh, they do fit on those shelves. Something else didn't fit on the shelves. What was it? What did I try and put on the shelves and couldn't put on the shelves? And I was like, I'm sad about this. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's not the Nectar bottles, because the Nectar bottles do fit on shelves and I love it. Let's delete these. And then I want to see if this is actually a usable item. Yeah, so you can use that like a wardrobe. So it's not the object. The object I can just admire new possession because she's materialistic, but the clothes themselves you can use like a wardrobe. So that is so cool for like customizing wardrobes. So if you've got like Dream Home Decorator, or I think High School Years as well had some of these kind of like customizable clothing rack efforts. Very, very cool. Really love that. So more of that, please, Sims team. I want like an entire wardrobe and more options of like, especially like things that look like retail. Really, that's very, very useful actually. I like that. It makes it a little bit more customizable. I didn't mention the path. I was so proud of myself for doing this path. I don't know why I'm shouting so much. What's wrong with me? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm tired. I'm not eating enough. This path, this is all like base game. So again, if you go into live edit mode and look around, you'll find these kind of like base game pavers. And then again, I was trying to copy the image that I had, the reference image, and they had this really gorgeous kind of like tile paved path. And then like nothing else was working, so none of the floor tiles worked for it. I tried to use kind of like the floor terrain paint and it wasn't quite the same effect. And then I found those and I was like, oh my god, I love her. She is everything and he is just Ken. So yeah, that's the house I built. And if you want this house and you want to shove it in Tartosa or shove it in Chestnut Ridge or shove it in I nearly said Stardew Valley, Oasis Springs, it'll be on the gallery under Cinderellimouse and you can go in and get it and shove it wherever you want. Thank you for early access, EA. And yeah, that's it. The only other thing I want to kind of show you while I've got you here, because I'm not actually doing a separate video on it, is the baby goats, because it's so adorable. Like, where are the baby goats? Show me the goats. White mini sheep. Lock the camera. Oh, it's fun to sleep in the street. I can't have it. I can't have it. Call over white mini sheep. No, you can't sleep there, sir. Get out of the road. What are you doing in the road? Go back to your stable. So what do I want to do? So yeah, you can share it for simoleons, which is quite cool. So you can have sheep as like a little business. Let me care for him because he's kind of dirty. Clean the sheep, please. He's unhappy and he's dirty. The horse is kind of like standing over him. I feel like the horse is his friend and he's kind of like looking after him because that's really, really sheep. It's really sheep, guys. Talk about cat and candy life. So some of the things you can do, you can bottle feed them. It tells you how they're doing. If you just hover over them, there's this like little thumbnail, like tooltip. It tells you about the hunger and stuff. You can kind of call them over to eat. You can hand feed them. You can bottle feed them. So if you go over here, you can't ask them to eat. You can ask a horse to eat, but you can't lead a sheep to water. So here you go. She's just grooming him. That's going to help him with his hygiene. He's ate plenty. He's probably eating from that grass as well. So that's cool. And there's a lot of different things. And like I say, the more you get to know them, the more interactions become available. And eventually you can actually go ahead and ask them to help with the gardening, I think. Chores, there you go. Chores, ask for gardening help. So once you have a good enough relationship, I can't remember which one each does. I think one of them, I think the goat helps with weeds. It'll go and eat the weeds from your plants, so you don't have to weed the plants as much. And I think the sheep helps with like bugs, something like that. So they're actually really useful for gardening. Really, really cool. And then let me just see, how is the goat doing? I think the goat might have run away. I don't know where the goat is. I think we've lost the goat, guys. I don't know where the goat is. I've lost the goat. The goat doesn't love me anymore. It ran away. No. Or maybe it died. I actually don't know what happened to the goat. Like, sad times. Hopefully he'll come back. I don't know. Whoops. Maybe I deleted him by accident. Maybe he's in my household inventory. That happens sometimes. They are objects. There he is. I found him. I accidentally deleted him at some point. It happens, guys. So if your animals ever go missing, go and check your household inventory. They might be in there. Yeah, so let's go ahead and care for the little goat as well. Clean the goat. And that's sheep and goats. That's my review of sheep and goats and build and buy. They're cute. I like them. I don't have much to say about them. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm sick of recording. Take this expansion pack away from me and then give it back so I can have it in my full game and do what I want to do. I do really appreciate having early access. It's just I'm a little bit out of my usual rhythm, and it's kind of thrown me a little bit. I've kind of put a lot of pressure on myself, which the Sims team haven't done. The Sims team are like, make content if you want. Yay! Woo! Here's early access. Aren't we nice to you? And I'm like, why would you do this to me? It's too much pressure. I don't know what I'm doing. Make all the videos. I have like 1,700 hours of footage because I panicked and made too much footage, and all of it is terrible. And now I'm like, I need to edit all this footage, and I don't know how to edit. I do kind of, but I edit little things on my phone, like big editing full videos. I've had to like I've downloaded like 3 different editing programs and failed at using all of them. I'm just like, I'm my own worst enemy. But again, really appreciate early access. I hope I've done enough. I hope I've kind of like shown off enough of the content. I hope you've all found my reviews interesting. I kind of did my best to kind of like do the kind of like normal game changer thing. Normal. I'm not normal. Of kind of like, hi, here's the world. Here's this thing. Here's this thing. I don't know which videos I'm going to put up yet. I don't know which videos I'm going to edit. I don't know which videos I'm just going to like shove on the internet and pray like it goes well. Just because there's only so much time and sanity that I have left. But I have to be myself as well, and I'm a bit of a train wreck. So I think this is the thing as well. Hopefully I'm inspiring other people. You don't have to be perfect. You know, you just have to be, I don't know, genuine. You just have to try really hard and be it's not even like you have to be enthusiastic, because you can just sit here and go, I don't like this is bad feature, it's bad, you should have done more, which is what I feel genuinely for nectar making. I'm not that it's bad. I like what's there. I just think there should be more of it. So I have some not good feedback about nectar making, because I'm like, you should have done this, you should have done this, you should have done this, where's this, where the actual nectar making itself is fine, it's good, it's a good feature, I enjoyed it, I like it, I'm gonna play with it, I just want more. So that's my negative feedback. I've also gotten some negative feedback about the horses, because you're a glitchy little man. But like it said at the beginning of the video, it's not final software. The game isn't complete at the stage that we're playing it with, so when it's released, hopefully they've sorted out any kind of those little problems, fingers crossed. And I'm just gonna stop talking before they never ever give me early access ever again, because thank you Sims team for taking a chance on me, and yeah, I appreciate your faces. And I have to say, like, my overall review is I kind of love it. I kind of do love it. I really like build buy. I'm going to use a lot of this a lot of the time in my game. It's good to have that rustic stuff. So build buy is kind of like hovering around, maybe generally like, not perfect, but generally have good feelings for. Cass is everything. Cass is Barbie, right? It's everything. Yeah, even that, I'm super hypercritical, so I'm never going to give anything 10 out of 10. It's like 9.5 or something Cass, but it's very highly scored. I really like Cass. Horses are so much fun. I'm really glad to have them. I'm going to use them in my own game, absolutely. I think they've done a brilliant job with like animations and things like that, and you know, the way his little ear twitches, like, they're so good. Like, they're nearly there, they're just a little bit, tiny bit buggy, need a couple of bugs to iron out. And then you get like, what, 3-4 horse skills that are level 10. Like, you get the riding skill, which is level 10, and then this is my thing with nectar making, is like, did the ball just stop rolling? Did you just give up? Maybe, I think a lot of the resources probably did go on horses, being a new life state, and especially a new life state that you have to kind of ride. There's a lot of animation cost and stuff with that. So maybe they just kind of like put all their eggs into the horse basket, and kind of, I mean, baby sheep and goats are just kind of cute and there, and the animations are great and all that kind of stuff. I'm glad to have them. But I feel like horses, I mean, it's horse ranch. The pack is mostly about horses. So if you're not into horses, it might not be your thing. Nectar making seems like a bit of a kind of like, it's horse ranch. Oh, and also there's a bit of nectar. But again, it doesn't feel like the main feature. And it feels like it's not been treated like the main feature as well. Because I would, again, for nectar making, I would have liked to have seen new grapes, new grape varieties. I would have liked it to be a 10 level skill. I would have liked more nectar recipes. I would have liked the nectar recipes that you do have to have more of an effect. I like how it ages. I like the business aspect of it, how you can upsell it if you wait for it to age. I like, you know, but again, like, why didn't they add more gameplay to the venues? Why didn't they add more? I'm ranting again. I'm going to save this for another video. I hope you've enjoyed. It's sunrise in Oasis Springs, and here's this house I built with the horse ranch pack. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this very scattered look at build by and some of the live edit objects, which as well, absolute winner. Like, secret sauce there. Like, if you've not checked out the live edit objects, you absolutely want to do so. And again, here it is, like, he's found kind of the hidden wild grass that are kind of interspersed around the lot. So yeah, generally I really like the pack, but there's a couple of frustrations where there's things that I think could have been better. That yeah, that's it for me. I'm gonna go. God, I've been recording for such a long time. I've lost the will to speak. Bye friends, take care, and I will see you again soon.